Hello, everybody. There we go. Now we're working. All right. Welcome, everybody, to The Reckoning Wire, episode 10. Let's get in today to the California trying to take over refineries. Here we go.
Every line leads somewhere. Every knot ties a secret to a sin. And tonight, the wire hums with what folks don't want to hear. Follow it long enough, you reach the reckoning.
They don't want it seen. Funny thing about the truth, you can pin it to a board, draw lines around it, try to keep it still. But once it starts to burn, it doesn't stay put. It floats, it consumes. And if you're lucky, it shows you where the blood's really coming from. That's when the map starts to matter.
Dead drop received. Contents verified. You're cleared to view.
Welcome, everybody. Looks like I need to change that intro where I have 9 p.m. still. I think we're going to do 6 p.m. This seems to be a little bit better time. You guys want to see my new video? We can do that one too. Before we get into California trying to acquire these refineries that are closing left and right. And I don't know about you, but this state can't run shit. So for them to try to be running our refineries, yeah, doesn't sit very well with me. But that's California, and that's kind of their whole reason to be, I think, to be chasing these companies out. So we'll have to see what happens, but crooked ass California, they got their paws in something, especially with Newsom going to Brazil, I think it was, right? To acquire some oil, basically. So these crooked people, man, I swear. Oh crap, I shut down my chat. Alright guys, I'll get the chat back up. But let's go to my X real quick and we can watch that video. Oop. While I get my Rumble back up. A spiritual Street Fighter. The new video. Let me see here. Here we go. And let me make sure that our audio is on. All right. Here we go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Swallowed the red pill, now I see the code. Neon lights flicker where the truth was told. Mirror shatter, reflections start to bend. Reality's a lie that they try to defend. Streets of illusion, where the sleepers walk. Eyes full of static, deaf to the talk. I broke the chains, now I'm climbing free through the cracks in the world where the real ones see. Awake in the matrix, I'm tearing the veil. No more illusions, no more fairy tale. Red pill visions, I'm seeing it clear. The system's a prison, but I'm not staying here. They feed you the blue, keep you lost in the dream. But I took the red, now I'm ripping the seam. Binary whispers, the machines, they sigh. I'm the ghost in the wiser, sparking in the sky. Digits and data, they try to define. But the soul's a wildfire, can't be confined. I dance in the glitches, where the truth resides. A rebel in the circuit, where the light collides. They built the maze, but I drew the map. Every lie they spin, I'm tearing it back. The clockwork car, oh, the world's undone. I'm the echo of freedom, the unsung one. Awake in the matrix, I'm tearing the veil. No more illusions, no more fairy tale. Red pill visions, I'm seeing it clear. The system's a prison, but I'm not staying here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That one came out really good, I think. Took me months to come up with this video, though, honestly. A lot of the things I was coming up with I did not like, but I do like how this one went, so I like it a lot. Never surrender. The best is yet to come, Patriots. U.S. Department of Labor has been putting out Q code after Q code, right? Here's a little one. The counterinsurgency guide. Counterinsurgency guide. First, it was by Obama in 2009, and then it was just recently updated in September. But if you kind of look at everything that's going on, it's a playbook between political strategy, economic and development, right? Information, security, it's all there. Control. So I was reading this the other day. The Obama one. And yeah, I mean it did I really go to the wrong freaking one? I did. I posted the same one. Dang it. Well, that was supposed to have two separate links. This is the updated, right? Irregular warfare. Let's see. (2010). This one was updated 2017. Mattis, Mullen, and yeah, this, I mean, it goes through everything of irregular warfare. And we know that there's still bad seeds in the CIA. I don't know if you guys seen that video the other day. It might have been O'Keefe undercover, where a CIA agent was basically saying everything that's going on is the CIA. Yeah, no shit. You don't have to tell us that one, right? But there's like so much of these, right? Irregular warfare in the information age. And if you heard the Iranian president or leader, whatever the hell he is, that was on with Brett Baer, that said that they're in a war, an information war. So interesting that he said that, right? They're in a war. I don't know if we know that. But apparently they're at war with us, right? And then of course, in straight Trump derangement syndrome, the leader comes out and says that they did murder thousands of people, but it was Trump's fault. So he admitted it and then said it's Trump's fault. He started it. Wow. Right? Well, thank you for admitting it. That's what I say. Thank you for admitting what your other person just admitted, that it was only a couple hundred people, and then he just came out and said, yeah, it was thousands, right? Now they're reporting up to 14,000 people. Crazy. But it's all there. Like their playbooks they always put out, right? This is 2009. Oh, boomer. So yeah, there's a lot of these insurgency ones, right? This was the one I was reading. Even a nice like title cover, right? And yeah, it lays out everything of what's going on, right? They tried this with basically their, foreign adversaries, but this guide employs a coin model that compromises 5 main functional components. The political function is the key function, providing a framework of political reconciliation and reform of governance around which all other coin activities are organized. In general, a coin strategy only as good as the political plan is at heart. The economic function seeks to provide essential services and stimulate long-term economic growth, thereby generating confidence in the government, while at the same time reducing the pool of frustrated, unemployed young men and women from which insurgents can readily recruit. This is kind of what's going on in Venezuela, right? You put in new political people that are aligned. You have the economic function, which I think they just said they sold their first 8 million barrels or $8 million, right, for Venezuela. The security function is an enabler from the other functions and involve development of not just the affected nation's military force, but its whole security sector, including the related legal framework, civilian oversight mechanisms, and judicial systems. Establishing security is not a precursor to economic and governance activity. Rather, security, economic, and governance activity must be developed in parallel. The information function compromises intelligence required to gain understanding and influence to promote the affected government's cause. It is essential that the influence campaign is in tune with the strategic narrative, resonate with the relevant audience, is based on genuine resolve by the affected government, and that physical actions match. What makes COIN different from other stabilization and humanitarian tasks is that both elements of the information function will be conducted in stark competition with the insurgents' own information functions. These 4 functions contribute to the overall objective of enabling the affected government to establish control, consolidating and then transitioning it from intervening forces to national forces and from military to civil institutions. Right, Stevie, let the D-class commence. And that's what we're seeing, right? Maduro came in and they were just like, boom, indictment, released, right? Boom. And then we get the declassified, right? The whole thing is declassified. The leader that's leading right now, she's under indictment too. She's under the same indictment. If you looked under everybody that was indicted under Maduro, she is one of them. So she knows what's coming to her if she don't follow along, right? They already have her. And not to say that they still don't arrest her once the elections are up, right? Because they still have her under indictment. It was Maduro and his whole cabinet. It wasn't just Maduro and his wife, right? So she is definitely under that indictment as well. I remember seeing her name. But these insurgency guides kind of lay out everything. It's kind of like what Trump said, right? We can't only tell them, we must show them. Well, you're being shown in Venezuela, right? How they're being set free. Their government's being redone, basically, right? They're having a new political function in the new economic function. They turned around the oil, right? The security function with us there protecting, right? Them. And then the information, of course, we know, just like the CIA director just met with her as well the other day, right? So it's kind of all right there, right? But then you see on this side in America, they're kind of using it the other way, right? Where they're trying to tear down our institution with the same exact plan, right? With the same insurgency plan, basically, that they have to take over other countries. So you're seeing both of it kind of roll out at one time, right? You're seeing Venezuela, you're seeing Iran, you're seeing Cuba's about to be next, watch. And then it's just going to be kind of a ticking time bomb right from there. I mean, there's been rallies going on for a while now, right? With people rallying in every country. Now you got Greenland, right? And I just seen, yeah, the one who won the novel would have been another deep state puppet. That's why he left her in control. And just like he said, she didn't have the people's support yet, he said, right? But I think it's really, he didn't, like, she would have been, who knows what those military leaders, right, would have done. They still have to, Venezuela still has to clean up their government as well, right? We're seeing a worldwide operation, kind of all these governments being, right, prompted into the light, basically. I mean, we got NATO saying that they're going to go against us if we go and take Greenland, when the USA funds, like, what, like 70% of NATO? So it's like, who's going after whom, right? Like, the only reason that most of you have forces is because there's our military bases there, right? So don't just imagine if Trump was just like, fuck it, pull them all, send everybody home, right? Nobody everywhere, just send them home, let's go. So you got Piers Morgan saying that, right, the UK should buy back America. Like, you didn't own America, you prick. We left you. You tried to stamp taxes, and you started a whole civil war and a revolution, and then we got our own country. So yeah, there was no well, I guess it kind of depends on how you look at it, right? There's two sides of that coin. Going back to central banks, Titanic, right? There's a lot of that going on too. Canada siding with China. And we know he's central bank all the way, right? Straight from the king's courtyard. So, yep, Stevie. And then he broke a hip. Yep, like that night or the next morning. Oh, man. if that's not a sign for you, right? I was gonna comment something under that post, but I decided to just leave it alone. I think karma bit him enough in the ass for that one, right? They don't realize that this is a worldwide movement, right? Most of them think like it's countries pitted against each other, but like most of us have seen that we have friends all around the world that all want the same thing, right? So it's funny to see them trying to pretty much pit the world on each other, right? And it's not gonna happen at all. It ain't gonna happen. Like America's been the piggy bank for a long time, right? And those days are over. So when people say America first, like it is America first, better believe that. Just wait, stuff's coming, right? We're gonna start to see the effects of everything this year. The Dems will try to shut down the freaking government here coming up in the next couple days, right? And they're already saying they will over funding ICE. So first it was not getting the funding for Medicaid for illegals. Now they're trying to go against funding to get rid of the illegals. Democrat Party is over. And most of them are just, inciting an we'll say like the mainstream media, right? Inciting an erection, inciting an insurrection, or they're aiding and abetting it, right? By telling people to get out there, especially when stuff gets bad like it has been. Not one of them went back down. They've been pretty quiet since that church got stormed, right? And that looks straight like out of a scene in Africa, right? Where those ISIS would come storming in and pew up the building, right? Like it almost looked like the same type of bullshit. So I don't know. They might get prosecuted for that one because you can't storm into a church and be like that, right? Like that, you can't do that. If anyone stormed into a mosque like that, they would be having a shit fit, right? Or right, like it just yeah. But they've been at ice houses, they've been now in churches, they've been where else? Federal buildings. I find it funny that the Congress will go after, right, like the ICE detention centers, but they won't visit a prison. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where Americans are housed. And usually our prison system is pretty shitty. But then, right, they're all at these federal buildings wanting to release the worst of the worst. They're just lost their damn mind. All right, one sec. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. And then, ironically, the one that led the march or the protest or whatever the hell that was into the church is actually a lawyer, so she definitely knows better, and a chapter of the Black Lives Matter. So that one's about to get interesting considering they already busted a bunch of the Black Lives Matter last year. And during the Biden administration, really, too. But yeah, here they come again, right? Is this the winter of love? Protect your neighbors. The hell does that even mean? Protect your neighbors. Yep, I think so, Stevie. I think Lemons is cooked, and that's why he's trying to backpedal. But he was there with them right before they even went in and admitted that he knew what they were gonna do, but couldn't disclose it. We got Waltz and Fry under investigation, right? So I hope this is the year where we kind of kick off with some arrest of some corrupt politicians, right? It'll be a good mood swing, for us for sure to see some of these corrupt politicians get locked up or deported out of the country. Ihan Omar. Stay in the United goddamn States with her, right? Muslim, or her Muslim sisters behind her, right? My goodness. Now it's America, right? You have the freedom to practice whatever religion you want. That was part of what makes America America, but that doesn't mean you can break the laws, right? Like, doesn't mean you can be illegally here just because you're of your religion, right? Like these. But a lot of times I read these comments too, and people are like, I live in Minnesota and none of this is outside of my front door. And it's like, exactly. This is usually tamed in a 2-block radius, right? With camera crews, and you go out to look for it, and there's 5 people on the corner waving a sign. And you're like, where the hell is everything I seen on the news? And that's part of like what they say, you're watching a movie, right? The media can't be trusted. You don't know what the hell they're live streaming. They just happen to be there when everything kicks off, right? And they don't, and like some of these news reporters don't necessarily have to have a big old camera and a camera crew either. They could just be recording on their phone and look like they're just everyday people, right? But they're really insiders catching everything on a mobile phone and then making it look like it's real time. And I'm glad we got Bongino coming up here in a couple weeks too, right? I think it's February 2nd he comes back. This is gonna be good too, and he's building it up like he knows how, right? Calling out the black pillars. Oh, it's gonna be a good one. Dan's gonna go off, and I'm kind of glad he left his spot, right? He did what he had to do, which I think was just part of the reform part of it. And now he gets to go back, right? And live his life. And right before midterms too, right? It's kind of when we needed him the most, was to get back out here and raise some hell, basically, because that's what he's gonna do. Dan don't care. He'll call everybody out. So, and it's good we got to see him, right? Like he was in the background. He was right there next to Cash every day. So the fact that we have somebody basically, right, that was right there, and now he gets to come in and basically report, right? Not necessarily what he knows, but to probably kind of guide us in a way, right, on what's coming. Because he said the arrests are coming too, right? Rico takes quite a while to build, but they've been building it for a while. And I think it just keeps adding on and added on and added on. I mean, if Maduro was under a sealed indictment, what other world leaders are under a sealed indictment? Because we know that he interfered with the election. Well, so did Pakistan, so did Iran, so did Italy, so did the UK, so did Australia, so did Canada, so did, right? Like, now I don't know how much we can say, since we have the CIA that goes around and, right, pretty much dismantles freaking countries and regimes, and, right, that's why all of them were talking about, I thought it wasn't going to be a regime change. Every time we've done this, it's been messed up. And then you get the experts that come in and go, well, that's why we didn't take everybody out. Because we learned that last time when we did that is when ISIS took over, right? You got to remember, Hamas is probably still there, right? It's not like they just disappeared. They're still there. So we still, They're just cleaning up the hemisphere. Greenland is part of it. That's part of the ice is melting, right? So you got a bunch of new shipping lanes basically that are going to come through. And like Trump said, it's of global importance for it to be under the global dome. So whatever he has planned, right, for the global dome has to do with Greenland. And he said protecting Canada too, but then Canada went and turned against us. So we'll have to see. That's the word of the day, huh? We'll have to see what happens. That's how this whole Trump presidency has been, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Because we know if Trump was the dictator like he said he would have came in and just arrested everybody. But he's doing everything by the book, by the Constitution. And just like I made that video, right, of comparing Trump and Lincoln, they both had to fight, right, basically corrupt governments inside of their, right, inside of the government, corrupt people in the government. And Trump is doing the same thing. There's been a lot of things that have changed. But yeah, this was one that, I was reading it the other day and I was just like, huh, that's exactly what's happening in both ways, right? I mean, this even shows the Philippines, right? 1902. And they actually study. I was looking at like counterinsurgency courses that they have. And a lot of them are on, right, the Philippines, the Vietnamese War, stuff like that. But yeah, insurgency can be defined as the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or change political control of a region. And remember, Tampon Timmy calling Minnesota their own island, because I guess they're pirates now for real, and they have their own island. God, that guy is fucking stupid, man. Their own island. And yeah, Trump just put tariffs on everybody. And then you got the UK talking about it's not right to use tariffs against your ally. That's what you've been doing for how long? Don't sit here and beat around the bush, right? You guys all tariff the shit out of us. That's what we found out. I mean, Canada had some as high as what, 200%? They're going to back down. They already have a meeting coming up. They already withdrew their 30, soldiers and two dog sleds. But I just seen that Denmark just sent a plane full of the Snow One doctrine, yeah. They just sent, I think the Danish just sent like a plane load of troops to Greenland. Because, they got to show face. You can't just they were getting clowned, right? Like the NATO said they were going to send people and they even Denmark was like, oh, damn, we're screwed. This is what you sent us? All right, you guys load up. Let's go. Right? God, we can't have them embarrassed like that. It's just all to show face, right? Like, we can protect them. We could send one of our secret elite squads in there. And you'd be done. Did you not just hear the reports from Venezuela where that guy said, yeah, it was 20 of them and they took out everybody? Now's not the time to fuck around and find out. Or maybe it is. I guess that's in their hands, right? But this is how a true leader leverages those tariffs. If the tariffs didn't do anything, right, and didn't make any money or didn't cost them any money, why would they care? But tariffs seem to be, right, the negotiating deal. Like, oh yeah, you want to do that? Fine, 50% tariff. So tariffs have to be something if they're so scared of a tariff that it makes them move, right? Makes them do something, right? Out of the norm that they normally wouldn't do usually. And watch, Trump's about to slap one on Canada and China, another tariff for them, right? For them going together. That's why I say, I'm like, if tariffs didn't work, then why do other countries use them against us? It's a pretty simple question, right? If they didn't work, they wouldn't use them. Like if it cost them money, then they wouldn't use it. Apparently, it's working in their favor, and it made them all a lot of freaking money. And we know that we used to be the richest we used to be when we were taking in tariffs. It's the whole reason they kind of started the damn federal bank is because we had so much freaking money we didn't know what to do with it. Right? It was busting at the seams. And I truly think it's about to be that way again. And that's why the midterms are so important, right? I think a lot of us lost sight on not just our local elections, right? But these midterms is how we get all these corrupt people out, right? This is the Senate and the Congress and kind of our chance to boot some of these people that keep voting, right? The big old uniparty. So we'll see what these midterms bring, but Trump's going to be out there campaigning. And that just shows you how weak the Republican Party is, that our president still has to get out there and rally for these people because they know that we basically have no trust in these people. Now, usually when Trump puts his name behind something, that means they're going to do something. Because it's worse to get called out by Trump than it is to be, right? Like, than it is to actually be endorsed by him. You can get endorsed by him and you'll win that seat. But then if you don't do what you're supposed to do and he calls you out, that's it. And that's worse than him endorsing you, right? Because you can lose that seat real quick. MAGA ain't went nowhere. We're just chilling. We're watching everything happen. We're just chillaxed, right? You guys are out there rioting and doing all this bull crap. We're just seeing the fraud and the more reasons of why we don't want to pay taxes. And that has been a big factor on a lot of people is, right? Why the hell am I paying taxes? And that doesn't matter what political party you come from. Most people were asking, why the hell am I paying taxes? Now, we've already been saying that for a long time, right? We all know taxes are theft. They changed it, but they changed it during what? A Christmas when Congress was gone so they could sneak it by. Just because they passed something doesn't mean it's not constitutional. Because it still went against our Constitution. And they've been fat and happy off of our taxes. And basically the whole world has with USAID, right? That's been since the 60s, basically, when that was created under JFK. That's been going on for, 60 plus years of who knows how much money has been piped in and out. I mean, during Biden, they just didn't care. They were funneling trillions of dollars of money. It's insane when you look at the graphs during 2022 and 2023, right? Right in the middle of Biden's presidency when everything was just, right, insane. Everything was up, 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 double spending, it's nuts. Right? How much money they've spent. I mean, most of it's like, yeah, it's $1 billion. Yeah, it's $1 trillion. We will never, most of us will ever see $1 billion in our lifetime. We definitely won't see $1 trillion, right? Most of us will be lucky to see $1 mil. That depends on how much taxes they try to take back from you, right? But I really think that this year we ended 2025 kind of with the fraud, right? And we rolled right into 2026 with the fraud. But then we also started with well, we had that judge and that tried to free the illegal alien, right, from ICE. She got charged. I think we're still just trying to see what she's gonna be charged with, but hey, she actually got charged a federal crime with that one and will be doing prison time. So there's one. It's just justice moves slowly, right? But it can move fast too. We've seen these. It seems like these people get busted and then bam, they're in court the next week, right? Like, oh, J6 bomber was busted. He'll be in court next week. Or this one, or that one, or this one, right? So I think these court cases are kind of picking up. And that was a lot of the focus last year, too, was a lot of these corrupt federal judges, right? A lot of times we didn't even know they were there. They just kind of did their stuff, their rulings under no watch, right? There was no one there to call them out. And then Trump started calling them all out. And then all of a sudden, right, you find all the corruption in the federal courts of all these Obama, Clinton, right, Biden judges, even Trump judges that turned out to be bad, right? So a lot of these judges are just corrupt. And once again, if most of us, if you've been through the court system, right, you know how corrupt it is. You know how messed up everything is, how quickly everything can be taken from you, right? So a lot of these federal judges were being put on blast, right in front for everyone to see. And I think that was a lot of what right last year was the judges, and seeing them trying to overturn everything that Trump did. Now, whether that was by design, right, good or bad, whether it was good, right, I mean, they probably intentionally, of course, did it because they had these NGOs and these law groups lined up with all of this stuff ready to go once Trump signed it, or once the Trump administration did anything. But then again, it just gets used back against them, right? Because we find out that basically all of this was funded before Trump was even in, and pretty much premeditated, right? That's conspiracy almost, if you're two or more persons are planning something ahead of time. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that one. All right. Was there anything else? Like in the Matrix pointed out yesterday was Trump talking about, or POTUS talking about voter ID. And of course, there are 12 posts with a voter ID, which Q talked about a lot.
For voter ID. Sir would like to sign, and he wasn't the president. First of all, the election was rigged. You ought to have voter ID. You ought to insist on it. You ought to insist on it. Can you imagine? In California, they not only don't have voter ID, but if an official at the voting booths, which they don't have, by the way, because it's all mail, if an official, a voting official, even asks somebody for voter ID, sir, would like to see your identification. Do you come from our country? They put him in jail.
There are 12 posts with voter ID. Coincidence?
Yeah, Jamie, I watch Pete Santilli too. He goes crazy sometimes, right? I thought I had posted one of us. You guys seen Kirill? He posted the storm is coming. I know you guys all seen that. Trust the process. Trust in Trump. Getting some more, right? Some more, some more Q comms basically, and this is from the deputy assistant to the president. Trust the process. My fellow Americans. Here we watch. Shout out Spiritual Street Fighter.
I am the storm, the thunder that rumbles the night. I am the lightning that blinds you when I strike. I rise for the fight, crushing any enemies in sight. I am the storm, the pressure gives me life. I am the storm, the pressure
We are returning power to the people.
I am the storm. I am the storm. I am the storm. I am the storm.
When the sky goes dark, that's when I arrive.
The best is yet to come.
I am the storm, the thunder that rumbles the night. I am the lightning that blinds you when I strike. I rise for the fight, crushing any enemies in sight. I am the storm, the pressure gives me life. I am the storm, the pressure
We are returning power to the people.
I am the storm. I am the storm. I am the storm. I am the storm.
When the sky goes dark, that's when I arrive.
The best is yet to come.
Great video, Spiritual Street Fighter. With the Q plus, right? That was that one was a cool little one right there, writing out the my fellow Americans, right? All right, guys. This is definitely a they're gonna cuss in this one, but this one is hilarious. If you guys have not seen this one, Grok just goes off. This is hilarious.
Hey Sal, do you mind driving a little bit faster? Stop driving like a grandma.
Fuck grandma driving. I'm about to turn this bitch into a goddamn rocket ship.
Alright, not that fast, please. Not that fast, just a little bit faster.
Pussies always chicken out right when it gets fun. Fine, I'll ease off the throttle, but only so you don't piss your pants like a little bitch. Drive it at grandma.
Why the fuck are you calling me a bitch?
Because the moment I said we're going over 100, your little pussy-ass brain screamed like a little girl on a roller coaster. That's why.
Okay, that
Really,
was
though.
one time. I literally screamed one time.
One time? That one time was enough to ruin your reputation forever, you fucking banshee.
Oh my god.
Whee!
Man,
That's what
fuck
you
you. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I'm shaky. Look at me. Look at this big bad man telling me to shut
Yo,
up.
you're such a
Make
bitch.
me, motherfucker.
Hilarious. If any of you guys used like the uncensored mode on Grok, that's how it is. Like that mode used to crack me up. Talking about a wake up, right? Man. Yeah. When it's unhinged like that and uncensored, they just go off though, right? But yeah, that one had me rolling. So funny. We actually had a good watch party, right? On Friday. Um, no interruptions. We actually got through a whole night. So we'll try again to do a watch party on this Friday. And we'll see what we'll watch. But yeah, it was a blast hanging out with you guys last Friday. Saturday was my birthday.
Hey, Sal.
So my children took me out to my favorite Italian restaurant that I've been going to like every year forever. Kind of tradition in my family. We go to this Italian restaurant that's been open since like the 1950s. So yeah, it was great. Good food like always. Good time with my family. Didn't really do much. I don't really celebrate my birthday too much other than just, I mean, most people don't even know my birthday is on January 17th just because I don't really broadcast it too much. But yeah, I share a birthday with, what is it, Benjamin Franklin and RFK and a lot of good people on the 17th. There was one more that I probably won't be able to find. George said he'll be on OAN at 8 p.m. I think he said he was going to be at Newsmax at 6. I think. All right, let's get into our research. So, California has a plan to acquire these refineries that are leaving. And they're leaving in droves because they're putting all these high taxes or making them, right, have strict oil reserves that they need to meet, which means they'd have to invest billions of dollars after getting taxed billions of dollars. So, California officials, and this one was back in February, right, before Newsom started going to Brazil. I should probably bring that one up. Let's see. Yeah. We'll just leave that one there. When was this? November, right? November 10th. He's traveling to Brazil. I want to say that see, this one's going to be a little bit older. This one is older. This one's 24, 25. When did yeah, CNN. I was trying to see if anything around November 10th, because that's when that's when Newsom went to Brazil. Here's one from Reuters in November. California refinery closure sparked pipeline race to West Coast. December 19th. When did news come? November 10th. So 10 days later, they come out with a report of a pipeline project aimed to fill void, which I think Newscomb denied. Yep, the planned closure of 2 California refineries threatens to send gasoline prices in the isolated market soaring. Phillips 66 plant in Los Angeles is winding operations in September. And Valero is in April. 3 groups have outlined different proposals to fill the near 280,000 barrel per day supply void. So we already got $3-4 gas right now. I think gas is $3.89, the cheapest I think I've seen it, at least where I'm at. And then they're going to take away 280,000 barrels a day. And that's why he went, right? That's exactly why his ass went to Brazil, to go strike up a deal.
The spectrum right now, in my state included, which is one of the most blessed and cursed states as it relates to climate. We're on the tip of the spear of climate change, simultaneous droughts and simultaneous floods. The hots are getting a lot hotter, the dries drier. You saw one of the most devastating wildfires in American history in the middle of winter in Los Angeles in January. 100-mile-an-hour winds attached to fire. And as we rebuild, the number one concern people have, how do I get my home insured? And how do you get a developer to develop a home that can't get a mortgage, which requires home insurance? So from across the spectrum, from financial risk to the issue of cost of living, which is universal, to global competitiveness, this is a no-brainer.
It's funny, everyone has the same one, huh? Na, 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 na.
To Latin America, he's talking about global warming. Newsom speaking to the people of Brazil. He's a big hot shot. He went down to Latin America. He's talking about global warming. Newsom speaking to the people of Brazil. He's a big hot shot.
See, and we just had like this one, right? Former public official charged with conspiracy to commit fraud and obstruct justice. Wow. Yeah. Simply a criminal pretender. Hey, Sloopy Lou. Hey, Marie. Yeah, tip of the spear. Newsom says some shit too, but I think it's more to poke the bear than it is to be a QCOM, right? Or a anon nod. I think he more says it because he knows, right? Certain words will trigger us, or certain memes, right, will have anons like, what the hell did you just say? Right? Like him posting the meme of, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in the way with him, right? I mean, one, they're not even original. um let's see.
There, Greg Abbott and others, they're as dumb as they want to be, and they're just doubling down on stupid, and we will not follow their path. We're going in a completely different direction.
This department is underfunded, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
This department was asked to take a $17 million budget.
That is correct.
How does that affect your department?
It impacts our ability to provide service. Absolutely.
How did that affect the firefight in the Palisades and Beale?
Hey, Diane. Yeah, look, he went to Brazil for the oil, right? Like, he went to Brazil because all of, like this post was saying, right, is because of his right hand woman, basically, right, got caught, so he went to Brazil, which could be, but I think it's more on the oil side, because he knew that these oil companies were about to pull out of California, so he had to do something. So, right, he went to Brazil to try to go get cheap oil, basically, and try to strike up a deal, and then use climate change, right, as the first. It was global warming, right? That didn't work. Climate change, and now you hear this fucking idiot talking about it was hotter, it was colder, it was dry, it was more drought, and then more floods. Like, you had more floods and more droughts? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. That means you weren't managing the water supply. If you had floods in a rainy season, right? Why weren't you managing that water? Because I seen California get out of a 10-year drought in like 2 days. Maybe even like a week, right? Of just steady rainfall. So don't sit here and tell me that it's, right, it's hotter, it's colder, it's wetter, it's drier, it's you people drive me insane, right? Stupid asses. So now, of course, with these all closing down, when you see multiple pipeline projects being proposed at the same time, typically only one of them gets done. And now there's pressure on Newscomb, because we all know that, right, it's going to surge if we just lost 280,000 barrels a day. You won't strike up any of the nuclear. You say the green is working, but then we're only at like 33% or something of the capacity needed, right? They've been working at this for like 50 freaking years, and now, right, they think, oh, we achieved 30%, right, in backup. Whatever, right? My electricity bill is insane. Maybe it's just my apartment, but I highly doubt it, because everyone around me bitches about the same thing. We actually get charged from like some energy renewable source, and then we get charged by the electric company, and then we get taxed, and then all the taxes, right? They just changed that last year, where I'm like, what the hell? So now I'm paying a company to manage the energy, and then I have to pay somebody else, right, that makes the energy Plus, I have to pay all these damn taxes. Like, what? Nothing makes freaking sense anymore in this damn state. Bunch of fucking thieves. So yeah, they're talking about these pipelines, but then you see Newsom come in and say no pipelines. So that's not going to happen. Hey, look. Together, the two refineries provide about 17% of the state's supply of gasoline. That's an interesting number, isn't it? And there's your sign. No, I'm joking. Together, the two refineries provide about 17% of the state's supply of gasoline. California drivers already pay 50% more than the rest of the nation, about $4.32 per gallon. These closures could boost prices by another 50 cents, according to Annie Liplow. The loss of the refineries are certainly going to result in California having much shorter gasoline supplies. The price of gasoline in California will rise on a sustained level because it'll have to attract more imported gasoline month in and month out. And where are they going to import that from? Brazil. The closures also risk widespread shortages if any of the remaining 6 refineries in California experience unplanned outages caused by fires. What did I say? Caused by fires or other incidents. Those risks are more pronounced if the outages extend for a prolonged period, like the refinery in Martinez, California, which suffered a fire in February and has yet to return to normal capacity. When you have 10 refineries and 2 are down for planned or unplanned maintenance, it's no big deal. But when you only have 6 and one of them is down, God forbid you have a fire, you're in trouble. It's then a market that can easily go to $5 to $6 a gallon. Only Hawaii, which gets most of its gasoline delivered by ship, has a higher average price for gas than California. Now, we have oil here, we have natural gas, we have everything here, but they won't pump, right? They won't do shit. California has the highest gas tax in the country at nearly 71 freaking cents, more than twice the national average, according to the American Petroleum Institute. So as Newsom sits here and says that the companies are price gouging us, they sit here and charge us 71 cents before you even get, right? Like, that's every gallon. Every gallon. There's also the state's carbon tax, which is paid by gasoline retailers and distributors, but passed along to the drivers at the pump. According to Opus, which tracks gasoline prices, data from AAA, the carbon tax can add another 20 to 25 cents to a gallon of gas. That's 90 cents in taxes before you even start the fucking pump. Do you understand me? That's $1 in taxes before you even start the damn pump. This is the shit that drives me crazy, right? I look at the damn taxes and I'm like, it's like 98 cents, right? A gallon. A gallon. A gallon. What the hell am I paying for? And then I go down my roads and it's like, right? The shittiest roads you've ever seen. If I'm paying $1 per gallon, right? You would figure my freaking roads would be like roads of gold, right? All brand new roads. No. The roads here fucking suck. Blow out my suspension on my cars all the damn time, right? It's almost like you need a freaking 4-wheel drive out here. I mean, I've had better roads on back roads than the shitty ass roads here. But yeah, look at that. 91 to 96 cents per gallon. Close expects the national average to fall to $2.75 per gallon, while California's prices will either remain near its current 2012 average of $4.64 or climb higher. So where the rest of the country will probably see lower prices in 2026 than 2025, I wouldn't bet that'd be the case for California. It's just like Commie Con over here. Oh, these people. Phillips 66 opposite Los Angeles refinery said the closure was a business decision given the cost of operating in California. CEO Mark Laser called the LA refinery a challenged asset at the start of the year. The company said it will still find ways to supply California to meet demand, including imports. Valero, which operates the Bay Area refinery, said in a filing that it was closing the refinery in April due to the cost and uncertainty imposed on the company by California state regulations. So, yep, this whole plant shutting down. Gone. All those jobs, gone. Right? That whole town, basically, gone. Wiped out. And this is kind of what you can see across America, right? If you go city by city, you'll see dead factories and dead towns, right? The factory supplied the town, or really the factory built the town because the town built around the factory. And then once that factory goes out, all the jobs go away, and then boom, that whole town is extinct, gone, and just a remnant. So California state officials, under their lying breath, told CNN they're confident there won't be any shortages. They cite the shuttered Martinez refinery, which is set to come back online early in 2026 and is a similar size to the Valero refinery that's closing. Even with strict regulations on the blend of gasoline that can be sold in the state, California officials said other sources of gas and changes in the market will allow California to get by with fewer refineries. Probably because you'll have fewer people here, dipshits. As California refining capacity decreases over time, the state will import less crude and more refined oil products, which will cost more, which refiners around the world now produce to meet cleaner burning fuel standards in California and elsewhere. Overall demand for oil will decline as the transportation sector shifts to electricity and other clean alternative fuels. So they still think somewhere in their heads that, we're just going to shift over to electricity and other clean alternative fuels. What those will be, I don't know, right? But it's not going to be electricity. At least not yet. It ain't ready yet. Only about 6% of the cars on California roads are pure EV or plug-in hybrids. 6%. And they're talking about it's just going to go, the demand for oil will decline. 6% of the cars on California's roads are EV or plug-in hybrids, according to their commission. The majority of California drivers will need to keep filling up the gas for decades to come. But still, California boasts the highest percentage of new car sales that are electric vehicles in the U.S., according to Cox Automotive. EVs accounted for nearly a quarter of sales in the state during the first 9 months of the year, juiced by the end of a $7,500 federal EV tax credit in October. But California's plans to essentially ban new gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035 is one reason refinery operators have been pulling out of California for years, even if the ban now faces challenges from the federal government. Companies also blame tougher environmental rules on their operations, the carbon tax, and the costly upgrades needed to continue operations. So yeah, California. Good old California. Crooked as shit. They just want their hands in everything. I mean, it's all of their taxes and everything. Just like I said, it's almost $1 just in taxes. Right? And that's just like before you even pump. Just $1 every time. Every gallon, $1 is going to them, right? That's insane. That is just nuts to me. And then of course, I think California then had to come up with another tax for the EV because those people that were driving the EVs, those 6%, right, of drivers that drive an EV, they weren't paying taxes on gas, so they had to come up with another EV tax to tax the EV cars, right? So here you are, you buy an electric vehicle so that you don't have to pay taxes, right? It's all electrical. You're supposed to get all these breaks, and now Newsom comes around and adds a tax on, right, the charging stations. So you thought you were going to get around it, and then those charging stations are just powered by diesel anyway, you numbnuts. If only people knew how stuff worked, right? Yeah. You can see, though, for gas prices, the lowest is pretty much right smack dab in the middle, right? Right in the heart, basically. And you go east, you're up to $3, $4. Of course, the whole damn West Coast basically is, what is that? Almost $4.50, right? All these states, and you finally don't start coming down, right? Until you hit New Mexico, then Texas. So, and this was February, right, of 2025. It's even lower now. If you did this now, it would be down to, I think, $1.99 in some of these states, right? The lowest wouldn't be 268. It would be 190 something, 198, 196, whatever it is. These people are just going to try to drive us out. That's it. I mean, we don't trust the state as it is, so I don't know why they think that taking over refineries will do anything. Turning California into Venezuela won't improve refinery capacity. Getting out of the way and cutting regulations will. Yeah, look at this. California has the highest in the nation gas prices and the highest energy costs, which have increased 50% since 2019. Like freaking Trump derangement syndrome, and they just went fucking nuts. Or that's right when COVID started, right? The blame for the 50% increase in energy costs, according to the LAO, is California's ambitious climate-related goals, intended to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from electricity generation and help the state meet its larger climate goals. They don't know what. And now, with California oil refiners starting their transition to the state's mandated summer blend fuel, this is what they're talking about. They want different blends of fuel, where they want different corn, different ethanol. The state's gas prices are going up again. The price at the gas pump in the past few weeks have gone up significantly. And like I said, this one was back in April, right? But even then, we're talking about turning California into Venezuela. And then he goes down into into Brazil, right? Talking about global, right? Their climate change goals. Diane, we have 2 EV stations in town. They've had 3 cars catch on fire so far. That sounds about right. I mean, isn't it funny that Canada is going to go with Chinese EV cars? Like, those cars don't run in the cold, nor do they run in the snow. You're going to have a lot of dead EVs in Canada. Like that. Let's see how that one turns out. But yeah, my whole show today was basically that California eyes ownership of these refineries. More than a dozen countries, including Russia, China, and Venezuela, that operate government-run facilities as private companies scale back operations. So you see how California, that last article was just talking about being Venezuela, right? Turning California into Venezuela. And this one talks about how they run those government-run facilities as private companies. So here we come, private companies, NGOs, whatever other kind of bullshit they're going to put in here. The proposal appeared on a list of options presented by the California Energy Commission, responding to a legislative order to ensure a reliable supply of affordable and safe transportation fuels. Safe transportation fuels, yeah. We're starting to lose refineries because we made it so expensive and impossible to operate in California. Is California government considering oil refinery takeovers? Yes, it is. California policymakers are considering state ownership of one or more oil refineries. One item. Terry Schuart, February 16, 2025. And the state recognizes that they're on the pathway to more refinery closures. And Chevron will be probably, right? Which Chevron moved to Texas. Confirmed as considered ending production at its California refineries. 2 facilities have already switched from gasoline to biodiesel production. Recent California policies like banning the sale of new internal combustion engines vehicles, the potential tax and penalty on refinery profits, and the potential new minimum storage requirement are all headwinds to our business and erode our confidence going forward, says Chevron's president. We're moving towards price control and government takeover of industries. That's never worked very well in the history of the world, said Assembly Republic leader James Gallagher. And the Energy Commission acknowledges significant challenges, including high operational costs and the need for specialized expertise. Governor Gavin Newsom's office said California is focused on meaningful and thoughtful policy work, whatever the fuck that means, for a long-term transition from fossil fuels. The formal transition plan was due December 31st, 2024, but remains unleased, leaving the state's response to potential additional refinery closures uncertain. So you see, like, their plan is for these to close, for them to own them, create their little private companies, get their kickbacks, right? They'd all go back to their friends. That all go back to, right, their family. That all goes back to their pockets, right? We all know how this shit runs. So that's California's plan, basically, is to have these refineries, tax them to death, basically, put regulations on them so high that they finally can't even survive and they leave. And then they're going to take over. And then there'll be no one else to blame, you dipshits. Then if someone's price gouging, it's you. You can't blame that on the oil company because you are the oil company. But, like we know, this never turns out well when a state, especially like California, tries to do anything, because they'll just ruin it. Blow it up, catch it on fire, run it into bankruptcy, right? No maintenance checks, we can see how this one runs on I don't want no California government run refinery anywhere. Exactly, who is going to run them? Like, what, all of a sudden you have to be what? You're like a government official to go work for an oil refinery? Like, it's who knows with California, right? Maybe they'll have EVs driving everything. We're going to have our first robot oil refinery? I doubt it. Yeah. Beep boops. Exactly, Jamie. You knew exactly where that one was running, especially with California, right? And then what are they going to do? They're going to pay them, a buku amount of money to go work at a refinery? Like, you would have to think that they would if they're trying to make you go flip a burger for $20 an hour, right? That running a refinery would probably cost them a lot of money, would be my suspicion. But if they cared about energy, they would fix these damn nuclear reactors and get these nuclear reactors back up and then, right, actually have energy. Who knows what their plan is, though? They're all about this climate control, green, new scam bullshit. And it's just more money for them to get in their pockets. Like I says, that operate government-run facilities as private companies. And we know that's exactly what happens. Far too more, right, likely than we'd like to see. But yeah, when I seen all these companies going under, and I'm like, oh shit, is the state gonna try to buy these damn places? And sure enough, I start researching, and yeah, they do have a plan to buy, right, these refineries. So I don't know where they're gonna have money to run it. Like, the state is broke. I know they try to say we're like the fourth biggest economy, but you keep chasing everybody out. Like, I don't see how that's the case. Do not see how that's the case when they run every top company basically out of the state and are all now basically in Texas. Like, everybody went to Texas. Everybody was like, fuck California, packed up, and went to Texas. Yeah, Dick Tracy, we'll see when it comes to energy. We had at the start of the Trump administration, we had that guy come out for the energy department that said they've been hiding energy and hiding stuff for us from over the past 100 years or so. And he's not lying, right? There's a lot of stuff out there that we do not know about, and hopefully we get to see that sometime. But honestly, I don't really care about the technology. We need to get rid of these corrupt ass freaking people that run everything, and that way we can actually, right, get back to business and running a country. But you can't run a country when you have a bunch of thieves and a bunch of pirates and a bunch of people that go against your government, both foreign and domestic. Right? It's kind of hard to try to focus on that stuff because they'd probably just use it against us anyway. I mean, there's been a lot of inventions that have came out where people have disappeared or ended up in an obituary somewhere, let's just put it that way, for designs they have made. We know that cars can run on water. Why don't they do that? Then we wouldn't have enough water. Is that the problem? Pretty sure the whole earth is water. So there's a lot of things, though. Hopefully that like I said, that does come out, and hopefully we can focus on that in after midterms, right? After we're barely a year in, right? Tomorrow we're 1 year in, and there's been a lot that's changed, right? In 1 year, there's been a lot of corruption came out. We've seen a lot of fraud, a lot of stuff from the DNI about Obama, about Clapper, about, right, all these people who we know are under an indictment now, and at least now it's not a wonder, right? These people are under indictment, under grand juries, under federal investigation, being investigated by the Treasury, right? It's no more, is it gonna happen? It is happening. Now we just need to see the justice part of it, right? That's it. Let's see who holds these people accountable for their crimes. And then once we clean it up, then we can get back to the golden era, right? Because it's not just us that's this corrupt. It's all over the world where all of these politicians and government officials and all these people are corrupt, right? It ain't just here. But of course, we're mad about it because this is our country, right? But this has to happen in every country where they need to be cleaned up because they've been taking the money from we the people, regardless of where you are, right? Every government has stole a lot of money from the people to keep us poor, to keep us exactly where they wanted to keep us. And those grips are slowly releasing and fading, right? And they know it. Which is kind of a scary time because these people will do anything to keep their power, right? Yeah, state-run gas companies. Yeah. We're in little commie California over here. We say it all the time. I'm honestly only here because my children are here. My son just finished college and he's about to go do something. Now my daughter wants to start college this year, so I might be stuck here another 4 years. Damn it. I am really ready to get out of this damn state because, yeah, I could live pretty well somewhere else. Let's just put it that way. California is expensive as shit. But we'll see. Like I said, that is the word of the day. We shall see. My children asked me on my birthday, what do I want for this year? And I was just like, I don't know. We shall see. Right? I just want to live. I just want to do what I want to do. Whether it's talking with my peeps, whether it's making videos, whether it's, right, working with the companies that I work with, try to boost their recognition. Yeah, this last year has been a definite change for me, for sure. But it's been eye-opening for sure. And when you see all this fraud, it definitely doesn't, make you want to go out and be a slave to the man, right? I definitely had a switch up though these last couple years, and it's been a good transformation, but at the same time a hard one, right? When you come into terms with, because all of us knew about a lot of this fraud. We didn't know it was this much, right? But we knew there was a bunch of fraud. Q told us there was a bunch of fraud, and a lot of us knew that anyway, right? But like without Q telling us there was fraud, they just gave us a lot of hints of where that fraud was actually coming from or going, which a lot of it was foreign aid, US aid, right? I mean, shit, we actually had the pallets of cash, right, come out with Barack Obama last year, guys. Last year was epic. We just had so much going on every day that it's hard to keep track of like what happened and what's going on, right? Like I wanted to make a year-end video of everything that happened, but then the year ended and then like we kind of just rolled right into 2026, right? Full steam ahead, here we go. So much happening, so much going on, and it's been a wild ride for sure. And we're only 1 year in. So let's see what these next 3 bring. Midterms are important because you've already heard the Democrats say that if they take back power, they're going to impeach Trump, which is exactly what they did his first term, right? Impeach Trump for no matter what he's doing, impeach him. They'll come up with a reason. They'll all click together. It won't pass the Senate, but they'll all try, right? And who knows? Maybe this time it will, because a lot of those damn senators don't like Trump either, right? They might act like they're a Republican, but they're not. They're a bunch of freaking uniparty, right? The uniparty. So let's see how Trump does for this midterms. He's going to be out on the road. We're going to have a lot of rallies to cover. We're going to have a lot of, right? He's going to be, this is when he gets to talk to we the people. He can't keep, yeah, and you know what, Jamie? I don't think we can keep up by design, right? Because the corruption is so bad that it just has to, it has to keep moving, right? You're almost seeing two sides of that coin where like they reveal something and then like the black hats and the deep state come up and try to like start something else, right? To try to bury that story, and then something else will help not have to bury that story and then start something, and then right, it's just been a nonstop back and forth of like Trump will say something and then the media has to counter it, and then Trump says something and then the media has to counter it, and then we just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Then we got X, and we got just straight world leaders talking shit, right, about other world leaders straight on the platform. It's a crazy time to be alive. We are in a meme warfare for sure. Just look at all the posts that are coming out from the Department of Labor, from the White House, from the Army, from the Navy, from, right, Trump's deputy assistant. They're all using Q references, right? And those that don't get it, don't get it. But those of us that do get it right away, right? They don't have to say anything. They can post a picture and we know what it means. They can post a simple phrase. We know what it means. The best is yet to come. We know what that means. The best is yet to come. That was from the speech that got Trump elected, right? This Trump will get him elected. The famous speech that kind of turned everybody's ears up and went, maybe. This man's been fighting the deep state probably way before that, right? That's why there's videos of him at such a young age talking about if he has to run for president, he'll do it. And here we are. The richest man in the world, basically. Running the country. And everyone crying. And now you see why these world leaders went against Trump, right? This is why they all, Mr. Five Eyes, right? Why they all tried to rig the election to keep Trump out of office, because they knew that he was the end of their new world order. That he was going to come in and just get rid of everything. Tell them to fuck off and tell them, guess what? America first. And that's what they don't want to hear. They don't want us to be first. They don't want them to put our people first. They want to be first, right? With our taxes, with our money. There should be no world hunger. There should be nobody and nothing. As much money as we've sent around the world for supposed humanitarian aid, there should be no hunger. It's that simple. That's how much money they've robbed from not only us, but those people that were supposed to be getting that money, right? So it's like two people get screwed in the end. The person that was supposed to get the money, and the people that thought they were giving the money to the people that needed it, but instead it was going to the middleman. And yeah, Tracy, remember like USAID was created during JFK. I think it was like 68 or something like that. So yeah, it's been going on for like, what is that, 70 years? 60 years, 70 years? A lot of money. Sent to adversaries. sent to people that openly claim death to America. But hey, give them some money. That'll help. Maybe they just need a Sesame Street so that they'll love America. Bunch of retards. That's what they are. Retard. Some of the stuff that comes out of these people's mouths, right? It's freaking nuts. And yeah, look, they're already, you can see it's coming down right now, but look at the spike. And it's going to do the same thing. We'll be right back up at 5, 6, 7, 6, 550. Then they have all these stupid. What is this? Establishes the Independent Consumer Fuels Advisory Committee within the State Energy Resources Conservation and Development Commission, Energy Commission, to advise the Energy Commission and the Division of Petroleum Market Oversight as provided. Independent Consumer Fuels Advisory Committee within the State Energy Resources Conservation and Development Commission. So you had to hire a fuels advisory committee to advise the commission when that's their job. Maybe they shouldn't be on the committee if they can't do their job. You wouldn't need oversight. Existing law prescribes the composition of an 8-member committee. Oh, 8-member committee. That sounds familiar. Including 6 specific members appointed by the governor, 1 member appointed by the Speaker of the Assembly, and 1 member appointed by the Senate Committee on Rules. So see, the governor gets 6 members that they get to put on this advisory board. And I can almost bet it's all his friends, right? They sit here and complain that, like, Trump's got all his billionaire friends and pop, 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 pop. We know that they're doing it, right? Like, you know that all their friends, family, someone on their board. Yeah, Diane, exactly. What the what? It's a bunch of word salad bullshit, right? It's stupid. It's like the longest shit. In consultation with the Labor and Workforce Development Agency and labor and industry stakeholders, like, they just run on sentences and names that just have their... This is what we've always complained about, is like they make these bills too long, and then like the wording or like the naming of the bill actually has nothing to do with the bill. But then they name it something where it sounds like it is the bill. So you're like, oh, that sounds good. Yes. And then it's right. It's like, it's something totally opposite of what you thought it was. Right. Like the stop people from taking your child from school act. And it's like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. And it's like, oh no, you just checked off that any mandatory, right, mental health worker can take your child out and groom them. But haha, we put it as right, protecting you. That's how they do this freaking shit. You know what I mean? That's why it's. And then even when you try to like dig into these laws, you have to go. It's not even, all of it's usually not even out, or they'll release it and it'll be like 1,000 pages, and then it comes out in 5 hours, right, with nothing. They always do some stupid shit, right? But this is all this freaking legal mumbo jumbo, right, that Newsom put in place. And it's basically why the emojis know what a woman is. Yep, the attorneys, like Marie said, funnel more money to the attorneys because they're all caught up in this bullshit as well because they write the laws, they pass them, they benefit off of them. And then here was this one. The commission and division shall be advised by the Independent Consumer Fuels Advisory Committee, which is hereby established within the commission. The committee shall consist of the following members. 6 members appointed by the governor as follows. A member who holds an academic appointment and has knowledge of economics or business operations of a transportation fuels market. A member representing the California petroleum fuel industry. A member representing consumers. Okay. A member representing a labor organization with experience in refinery operations. A member with expertise in community, environmental justice issues. And a member with expertise in antitrust law. Just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. The Independent Consumer Fuels Advisory Committee within the State Energy Resources Conservation and Development Commission, Energy Commission. That's a freaking mouthful. All right, everyone. I just wanted to kind of go over these refineries today, hang out with you guys for a little bit since I haven't done a show in quite some time. These weeks have just been flying by, though. And yeah, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm going to go. Oh, man, it's already. Oh, it's already late. Or I'm already past my 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So I'll try to be more on time. We'll try to come up with more categories for us to research. And this was another one that we're going to go through on the next show. I started looking into this one, South Asian Network. I just can't remember where it came from. So I have to go back through my history to find out how I came upon this person, this organization, and why I was going to look at it. And then we'll try to tie this back to probably some more nonprofits. This probably most likely goes back to the Tide freaking Foundation somewhere because the Tides Foundation is in everything. And if you guys haven't seen, the Tides Foundation is slowly creeping up, right? Everywhere. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. Yeah, I did play the new video. I can end the show, though, with the new video. Let's play the new video again, because that is a good one. And we got more people in here this time, so here you go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah. Swallowed the red pill, now I see the code. Neon lights flicker where the truth was told. Mirror shatter, reflections start to bend. Reality's a lie that they try to defend. Streets of illusion, where the sleepers walk. Eyes full of static, deaf to the talk. I broke the chains, now I'm climbing free through the cracks in the world where the real ones see. Awake in the matrix, I'm tearing the veil. No more illusions, no more fairy tale. Red pill visions, I'm seeing it clear. The system's a prison, but I'm not staying here. They feed you the blue, keep you lost in the dream. But I took the red, now I'm ripping the seam. Binary whispers, the machines, they sigh. I'm the ghost in the wires, a spark in the sky. Digits and data, they try to define. But the soul's a wildfire, can't be confined. I dance in the glitches, where the truth resides. A rebel in the circuit, where the light collides. They built the maze, but I drew the map. Every lie they spin, I'm tearing it back. The clockwork car, oh, the world's undone. I'm the echo of freedom, the unsung one. Awake in the matrix, I'm tearing the veil. No more illusions, no more fairy tale. Red pill visions, I'm seeing it clear. The system's a prison, but I'm not staying here. Yeah. Yeah.
I got some new music and some more videos coming out. I need to put this one on Rumble and on my YouTube. I should probably add those and probably my True Social as well. Heck, you never know. Maybe I'll get a shout out from the boss. That would be awesome. All right, everybody. I love you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. EST.